Cole Palmer, one of many in the Chelsea ranks with Manchester City links, gets the 145th FA Cup final underway. City hoping for glory after successive defeats. Chelsea have experienced their own share of agony in the competition in their recent visits.
Well, I said about a back four, but just as they're lining up here, it looks like a back five. Cucurella is up against Semeno on this near side. That certainly looked to be the obvious choice when you saw the players that were on the Chelsea team list.
And Enzo Fernandez operating as the left of the two behind João Pedro, with Palmer on the other side. It's not a shape Chelsea have used with regularity this season, but certainly with the players on the pitch, there's certainly no unfamiliarity with it. It's Nico O'Reilly, the star of the Carabao Cup final, a day after his 21st birthday.
Fofana winning the battle against Doku on that occasion.
There's Guehi. Couldn't play in the Carabao Cup final because he wasn't registered before the first leg of the semi-final. But he is able to play in an FA Cup final despite having been already knocked out of the competition by Macclesfield Town. Funny old world.
And a key player in last season's win, wasn't he, for Crystal Palace against Manchester City in the FA Cup final. He was brilliant that day.
Although slightly bittersweet with the unpleasant experience of getting a ball in the eye. Trying to get Doku away.
Well, Fofana was a bit lucky there because Doku came short and spun on him. Had it been a better ball, he was in.
Well, that's a legacy of following the concussion protocols. Colwill, who's timed his recovery run well in terms of making this FA Cup final.
He adds a bit of stability to that back line for the coach, Alan McFarlane.
3 years working within Manchester City's academy. Kusanov. And here is Rodri.
There's Nico O'Reilly going into central midfield, as he does so often from his left-back position.
He's trading places with Bernardo Silva, who we've seen play there in his own right on the odd occasion. Harrying from João Pedro. And no change out of Cucurella for Semenyo. Tato. Cucurella. Well, Matheus Nunes comprehensively winning the battle.
Well, showed his pace as well. Cucurella looked as though he was going to try and cross the ball in. Pace of Nunes was brilliant.
Well, it's been a very successful conversion.
I think we can no longer say that he's a player that plays in midfield and is playing at right back now. He's a right back.
Rodri feeling a little stuck for options. Won by Levi Colwill. Has scored an own goal here. Well, first bone of contention, at least as far as João Pedro was concerned. Here's Semenyo now for Manchester City. Was allowed to tiptoe inside, and it might run for Marmoush.
Well, they wanted a foul on the halfway line, but they counter-attack really well, Man City. Marmoush tries to play it with the outside of his right boot, doesn't get enough on it. Probably comes slightly off his shin rather than his boot. But it's definitely a front two for Man City.
Well, so many variations on the theme this season in particular from Pep Guardiola. Loose by Marmoush, but a foul on Bernardo Silva.
The Chelsea players aren't particularly happy with one or two decisions. It's a foul, there's no question about it. Bernardo Silva nicks the ball. And it's a foul.
Described by the VAR, who incidentally is Peter Banks from Southport, as a clear step on foot but not reckless. Free kick, the only necessary sanction. It could lead to potentially some significant problems, or it's quite the way out.
Well, Semeno is having a run up at it, but maybe it's going to be Bernardo Silva just to clip a ball in behind Chelsea.
Well, a little bit anticlimactic. And the potential break snuffed out by Kusanov, who certainly has a more than useful turn of speed.
Yeah, he's quick. He's also very strong. He's reading the game much better than he did when he first came to Man City.
And also, which is important, reading English much better, although Pep did say he's not quite Shakespeare yet. Feel of the ball for James Trafford. O'Reilly, useful run here by Marmoush, although Hato is keeping tabs. Now Doku. O'Reilly in behind, and the door shut, and necessarily so too by Fofana.
Well, that's the run O'Reilly loves to make from his left-back position through the inside left. There's the first pass for Marmoush, who does threaten the back of defenders. Just watch O'Reilly go now. Lovely pass from Doku. Fofana, quick enough to get back.
Doku able to deliver across. Rodri round the back. Haaland. Well, Reece James ended up on the deck. And a Chelsea free kick.
Well, is he given offside here, or was it a free kick for a high boot from Haaland? Certainly not offside there, or it's very tight if it was. But I think it's this high boot just there which the referee didn't like. And Reece James, the right decision again from the referee.
Well, Howie would love to add to the glaring gap in his collection today.
interesting that Chelsea go long from the goalkeeper. João Pedro stopping Kusanov winning the ball, but Rodri in behind him.
Rodri. Bit of control being exerted now by Manchester City. This is Semenyo. Matheus Nunes. Cucurella keeping eyes fixed on the ball. Doku up against Malo Gusto, and Cole Palmer dropping back as well.
And Gay was looking for the run of O'Reilly. On that occasion didn't make it. He has got a chance to get forward, Gay at times. Chelsea just playing with the one up front. What a player he's been over the last couple of years, O'Reilly. There's the dominance of Man City in these first 11-12 minutes in terms of possession. Chelsea struggling to get hold of the ball.
They have it now thanks to a foul by Rodri on João Pedro. Enzo Fernandez, now have they sprung the offside? It's João Pedro. No, ultimately is the answer.
Well, they might have got a bit lucky there. Gaze steps up what I thought was at the wrong time, but he just about timed it right. Tight. I've seen in a couple of recent games, Man City have been broken down with balls in behind them.
And balls from their own defenders. Here's Matheus Nunes. Semenyo. No one getting there in his shade of blue.
Well, he's having a little look at Erling Haaland. Cucurella backing off and backing off. He gets right into the box. Doesn't really close him down. He just tries to pass it. Doesn't get enough whip on it. What a good signing he has been for Man City and Pep Guardiola. Certainly changed their fortunes since he was signed.
9 goals in City colours since his arrival, having already gathered them with great frequency in the colours of Bournemouth. Really given them a lift when it seemed as though it wouldn't be quite the memorable campaign it may yet turn into.
It's not often you see a manager on a cup final day with a roll neck on. It's not been particularly warm in London over the last few days.
It certainly hasn't, or anywhere indeed in England, having been across most of it in the last week or so.
Be a feature of the FA Cup finals, the suits that the players wore. Not quite the case these days.
Well, it reached its zenith or nadir, depending on how you view it, 30 years ago, didn't it, with Liverpool's infamous white affair before their defeat against Manchester United. Marmoush trying to get away. Sánchez needing a couple of bites.
Yeah, but good run from Marmoush. Haaland went short, he spun in behind him. Could be a very good combination. Haven't seen them link up with each other so far, which you'd like to see from a front two. Player we haven't seen very much of so far is Cole Palmer, who's been out of form of late at Chelsea. Player that wants to impress Thomas Tuchel, I'd imagine.
Well, you could, I suppose, apply that to a good number in terms of the out-of-form bit. Some around have already done more than enough to impress the England coach. Correa's back again, and vehemently of the idea that it got a touch off Semeno.
Now the referee is just calling the captain over, Reece James, telling Correa to calm down. It's good refereeing, I think. You can't behave like that towards the assistant referee, whether it's the right or wrong decision.
Cherki coming up against the club where, in professional terms, it all began for him. Joined them from Cray Wanderers, where the coach he was working under also happened to be a Chelsea scout, which is a little fortunate. Rodri, and now Mark Gay. Kusanov. Rodri again. Tone very much set in the first nigh on 18 minutes here. Interesting run by Bernardo Silva.
Just at times, Man City are pulling Chelsea all over the place. Chelsea, in the main, are playing with a back three, with Gusto pushed on the right-hand side, Cucurella pushed on the left-hand side. But at times, James was going in there. Defenders were coming out. It's a very good rotation from Manchester City. It's causing Chelsea one or two problems.
Well, again, Chelsea somewhat risk-averse in these situations, which is probably not a bad idea at the moment. Quite a scrap going on. But Doku ultimately fouled. Cucurella. Taken on by Caicedo. There's James. Chelsea's first meaningful attack. Brings real urgency there from Matheus Nunes.
Well, it started with a crunching tackle in midfield from Chelsea. There's the switch of play. A good switch of play as well. What he's doing is hitting a good area. As you said, full-back round on the cover. Took the right option. First bit of decent play from Chelsea.
Palmer's available for a shorter one.
That's not gone down too well with the Chelsea fans. Starts off with a corner, and it's going to end up back with the goalkeeper, I'm going to imagine. There we go. Not particularly pleased, the Chelsea fans around us. Not surprising, really.
Not one off the training ground, one imagines.
Yeah, something went wrong.
Chelsea wasting really their first significant opportunity. Colwell. O'Reilly. Doku. We almost got the benefit of the break of the ball. It's intelligent by Fernandez, and there's real potential here for João Pedro. But ultimately only potential.
Well, good counter-attack. Yeah, he won the ball, but only knocked it into the path of Fernandez, who played it straight in behind João Pedro. But again, we saw the pace of Kusanov getting back. And that João Pedro had to twist and turn, and eventually lost his footing.
Bernardo Silva, again Marmouche makes a dart into sort of inside left territory. Here's Doku firmly on the outside. Chelsea free kick.
Yeah, ready. Well, Cole Palmer there. What a manager, what a coach he's been over the years. Always coming up with different ideas, inventive.
Visiting Wembley is a measure of success. Oh, and Haaland will come away with it. Well, alarm bells clanging for Chelsea. But well, huge relief.
Well, I'd love to know what's going through his mind. James loses the ball. Is he crossing it? Is he shooting? If he's crossing it, he's hitting it far too firmly.
Colwell stepping away. And the intent to get Malo Gusto in, applauded.
Caicedo, the player that's gone down. That was a big chance for Haaland, wasn't it? It just shows that he favours his left foot so much, because really that was the ideal opportunity just to switch it onto his right and try and bend it into the other corner. Because in my mind, he can't have been crossing it because he hit it far too firmly. So he must have been going for goal, but he was well wide in the end. This would be a blow for Chelsea if Caicedo is struggling.
Much admired, with good reason, and of great importance to Chelsea's hopes here today. He wasn't too keen on receiving treatment.
That must be a player's nightmare. Big cup final. With an injury that might just hinder you a little bit. Of course, you want to carry on. You have to keep an eye on him. He's still struggling out there at the moment.
Bernardo Silva to Rodri. City not risk averse, but risk without reward this time. Enzo Fernandez. Oh, and nearly reward for Chelsea, but for Kusanov. Fernandez getting back, concedes the foul. Oh, and in Matheus Nunes! Flag up. And Haaland has the ball in the net, but he doesn't have his Wembley goal.
Oh, now this is going to be interesting. I think he was offside, not Haaland, but Nunes. Just does he make his run a fraction too early? Yes, he does. A good yard offside. Good decision by the assistant, and did the right thing just to keep his flag down. Just to let it develop.
It was a slightly interesting facet, that of the semi-final City were involved in, with Southampton not used to working with VAR and expecting on a couple of occasions the flag just to go up. They got that out of their system early enough in the game. By the second half, they were so deep, it would have been quite an achievement of being offside. Given away by Kusanov, who's been their rescuer on a couple of occasions. Bernardo Silva's turn this time.
Well, that's one area Kusanov has got to improve on, his ability on the ball. He's got better over the course of this season. He doesn't look overly confident when he starts stepping out into midfield. The player that's taken a bit of stick off the other Man City players has been Marmoush. Rodri had a go at him there.
Driving run by Wesley Fofana. Doku through the legs of Cole Palmer, and then Fernandez too, although Fernandez is back.
Now the bench aren't happy, the Man City bench. They're saying that Fernandez jumped into the tackle here. No, he won the ball, he did jump into the tackle. To have another look at it here. There's the first nutmeg. There was the second one, which was attempted. That's a good tackle. And there he jumps in. That's a very good tackle. Nothing wrong with that. Now, what about this one? Well, it's that second leg. Does he need to follow through with the right leg? It was a silly challenge to make. And he got the yellow card, and that's all.
Semenyo. Haaland having quite the scrap with Colwill.
And that's where Haaland, I always think, has to do better. He's done the first thing right. He's backed into the centre half, he's got the ball under control, and then he plays it a little bit too firmly.
Hop, skip and a jump for Mark Gahey. Spin appreciated by João Pedro. Offside though. It's Palmer.
Have to say, he looks way off the pace at the moment, Cole Palmer, the player that we've seen over 2 or 3 seasons at Chelsea where he's been exceptional. He has struggled with injuries and form this season.
And now it's João Pedro who's suffering.
The scoreline is 0-0 and Man City haven't created too many chances. I don't think it's been a comfortable first 31 minutes for Callum McFarlane. Man City have had very easy possession at times. Players are looking at each other, Chelsea players, who picks up who.
Well, Noel on the left of picture. Liam somewhere in the back there, the two Gallagher brothers of Oasis. Huge City fans, they were here all those years ago when they won a third-tier playoff final here. Oh, Kusanov not assured, but he got it away, and a promising City counter on. Until Cucurella stopped it, for which he will receive a booking.
Not quite sure how Semenyo was in the position he was in. He wasn't running back. Cucurella had gone forward, and suddenly he was in open space. I'm surprised he didn't go further forward. He started to cut across Cucurella, who just sticks out a foot. And there it is. Yellow card for the Spanish left-back.
Unsurprisingly, Rodri and Bernardo Silva working it between them, and now Semenyo has waltzed his way through, but then will suffer the indignity of seeing his shot go out for a throw.
Well, he can now really put pressure on Cucurella. He's had the yellow card. Goes past him way too easily here. And then on his weaker left foot, completely miskicks it.
He has enjoyed his best scoring season. Just clipped Malo Gusto.
Two wide players for Man City have had a lot of the ball. You can see that most of the attacking play has come down the wide areas, more down the left-hand side than the right. Haven't seen too much of Marmouche and Haaland receiving the ball into their feet. This one is only 19% of it going through the middle.
João Pedro did get the flick. O'Reilly, cool, calm. Rodri using those qualities. Fall straight at the feet of Fofana. Some City supporters venting their frustration. Palmer. Caicedo. Palmer for Chelsea. Malo Gusto up against O'Reilly. Getting the better of him, but that is comfortable for Trafford. Routine piece of goalkeeping for the farmer's lad from West Cumbria. Incidentally, grew up a Chelsea supporter. Doku. Rodri. Semenyo coming in. Cucurella's head. And that's a foul by Matheus Nunes.
He was always going to give a foul away there. Got too tight to Enzo Fernandez. Got him out of trouble, really. Good defending, Cucurella. Semenyo at the far post. Just watching Erling Haaland again, he was standing in an offside position. The ball was on the far side. It was obviously a cross was going to come in. He just stood in an offside position. Let's see more from the Man City centre forward.
Caicedo will pick it up. Forward by O'Reilly. Here's Colwill. Finds a way out to Enzo Fernandez. Caicedo. James. Gusto.
You can hear the groans again from the Chelsea supporters because the counter-attack was on. They went backwards when they should have been going forwards.
Malo Gusto to get it across and Gay to stoop and conquer. Correa, the potential to threaten him behind. For all that City's plentiful possession, he hasn't really seen his goalkeeper worked.
James is going in amongst his centre halves at times.
Augusto. Giving Marquet plenty to think about. Here's Reece James. And Cucurella can just about grow enough to keep it alive here for Chelsea. Otto. Colwill up to João Pedro, and here's Caicedo on the turn. Palmer making a move, and here he is. 3 in the box for Chelsea. But Bernardo Silva is also around.
Some really sluggish play from Rodri there. Palmer made a run and just ran off the back of him. Rodri was really labouring to get out there. And now Palmer just to get the cross in. Good spell here for Chelsea.
Well, it's enticed their multitude of centre-backs forward, but the shorter option is also on. It looks like James is going to get it straight in there after the vocal critique of one of their previous efforts. Cucurella. Caicedo. Can Chelsea keep the pressure on? It's O'Reilly that cuts it out. Cucurella. They're grateful for the hands-on from Hato.
Yeah, good defending from Gehi. Good strength and a bit of pace. Just a worrying few moments for Pep Guardiola. He's got Cherki to come on. What a player he's been for them this season. Just adds that bit of creativity, which at times Man City have lacked today. Will certainly be going through his mind, at what point do I bring him on? There you see the last 10 minutes. Chelsea have had 70% of the possession, which is a real turnaround. Started to dominate a couple of midfield places in there, and get the ball out wide to Gusto. Cole Palmer's been more involved. Good end to the first half for Chelsea.
Under the gaze of their former head coach, who led them to treasured success against Manchester City.
I don't think he'd be sitting too close to the Chelsea owners, will he?
Not quite ready to let bygones be bygones. They're not massively popular in many quarters, the Chelsea owners, although we'll leave that for another day. Here's Marmoush.
If there's a player that's in danger of coming off at half-time, it might be Marmoush. Although he's trying to make several runs, hasn't really been involved in the game. Man City want to change things up. That would probably be the change they'd make, because they haven't worked as a front two so far, Haaland and Marmoush.
This might be Haaland's chance, but Sánchez in the right place.
Great pass, good run from Haaland. It's in between two defenders. Not quite sure where Fofana was going. And he tries to go, I think he's trying to go across the goalkeeper, didn't quite get it right. But a big chance for Haaland.
Certainly the best of the game. Bernardo Silva over Gehi's head. Semeno now for City. Responding to Chelsea's best spell of the match with a good one of their own. Can they keep the pressure on as we close in towards half-time?
It was a situation where you just get slightly frustrated with Man City. When the ball came out to Semeno, he could have whipped it in first time. They had all their players in the box. He took a touch, slowed it down, and now Chelsea are set again.
And the pressure relieved, at least for now, such as it was. Haaland way offside. Couldn't keep that one in. Perhaps a man watching his back with Ryan Cherki preparing. Minimum of 3 added minutes. Doku knew he wasn't getting anywhere. They can at least try and keep Chelsea penned in.
See, when Marmoush is playing at his very best, he's the furthest forward of the players, and he's making runs in behind. That's what he did so brilliantly for Eintracht Frankfurt. He before he got his move to Man City. When he first came to Man City, he looked a real threat, making those sort of runs.
Well, it's an extraordinary talent factory, Eintracht Frankfurt, isn't it? I mean, you do wonder if they'd been able to keep hold of all of their talents, what they might have achieved. João Pedro, is this the moment? Oh! Well, Kusanov stepped across, and Peter Banks in the video booth is going to give it another look.
Well, it starts off with Bernardo Silva, I think, giving the ball away, or having it taken off of him by that man there. Now, he comes on the wrong angle, he bumps in, it's in the box. So if the VAR wants to call the referee to have a look at it, he can.
Well, Peter Banks has said that there's no penalty, and they will go with the on-field decision, but certainly from a Chelsea perspective a significant talking point, and from Bernardo Silva's point of view, for once, major relief.
I just wonder if that was anywhere else on the field, would a foul been given? I'm sure it would have been. Kusanov came on the wrong angle.
Yeah. Well, Manchester City were exposed again by their own error, which it's cruel to say this perhaps given how excellent he's been. Mark Gahey's at Goodison Park, the Hill Dickinson Stadium, may have been the one that ultimately cost City the title. It's an example of old habits dying hard. Still haven't been to the new place, the Hill Dickinson. Goodison Park almost every week for many years. Here's Reece James. And the curtain falls on the first half of the 145th FA Cup final. Erling Haaland. So the first change. So his extravagant gifts at Manchester City's disposal for this second half. Chelsea, as you were.
Be interesting to see whether Chelsea change anything tactically.
So it's Manchester City. Had a greater degree of possession and had the best chance of the first half, who get us away. Chelsea to get the disappointment of not getting what they felt, and quite a few others felt should have been a penalty.
Yeah, when you saw it over and over again, it did look as though it could easily have been a penalty. Kusanov came across strongly, was nowhere near the ball, was inside the penalty box.
But to the task in hand. Well, they've played twice in Wembley finals before. One finished 0-0 and went to penalties. That was the League Cup final of 7 years ago. The other one, 40 years ago, which not too many people remember, the full Members' Cup final, finished 5-4 in Chelsea's favour. David Speedie scored a hat-trick.
Yeah, it's not a competition that really lived long in the memory, was it, the full Members' Cup?
Or lived long at all. He only played for 7 seasons, competition for the teams in the top 2 divisions.
Called the Simod Cup, I think, for a while as well, wasn't it?
Yes, and the Zenith Data Systems. And so Cherki does here. Finds O'Reilly. A useful first intervention. And Semeno coming in. Well, Cherki involved in the first clear opportunity of the second half.
Well, people are saying he should have got over this, but he has to jump early to get above the defender. And there he's onside, O'Reilly, and he just lifts it, cuts the goalkeeper out. He jumps early, but just can't get above it. Tries to hang in the air. Beaten Harto. Just frustration for everybody at Man City that he couldn't quite keep it down.
Caicedo. Cherki and O'Reilly combining well to create the opportunity.
Cherki would just go into the number 10 position.
Straight down the middle here from Chelsea, although they need some width, which Malo Gusto provides. There's a foul on Enzo Fernandez.
That's 2 or 3 times he's done that now. He's got Enzo Fernandez going back towards his own goal, and then he just gives him a little shove and gets too tight. That is Núñez.
Very frustrating. Defenders give away free kicks in that way. Well, that was pulled by Bernardo Silva. Certainly his arm grabbed bicep. So to alight on the earlier theme, with lots of talk about doubles and trebles where City are concerned. We have a unique quadruple, don't we? Chelsea and Manchester City becoming the first pair of clubs to meet in League Cup, FA Cup, Champions League and full Members' Cup finals. So unless Reading and Luton have a major improvement in the next few years, I can't see that being equalled again.
Down again here. Seeing 2 players involved.
'25th time he's brought a City team to Wembley. It's just that thought fluttering in the wind as to how many more there might be. The Community Shield at the start of next season is in Cardiff. Wembley's booked.
James playing in midfield. Not sure that's where Thomas Tuchel would be looking to play him. He surely has to be a key part of England's squad, Reece James, if he's fully fit.
What? That's a foul by Semeno.
He's under pressure there. Colwill. He's very much a left-footed player. He realised he was going to be hurried, and the arm does come across him.
Coming here with Huddersfield when they had a terrific season 4 years ago. That's where he really settled into the centre-back position for the first time. used almost exclusively in that role there. Lost to Nottingham Forest because of his own goal. Under huge pressure. Gehi, Rodri, Doku, away from Palmer, who's back for more, and back to win it cleanly, and now it's City's turn to be frustrated with the referee's call.
Well, I'm not sure he won it cleanly, Cole Palmer. I think Doku tried to make the most of it, and that's what the referee thought. And it was outside the box, so there can't be any intervention from the VAR.
A step by Rodri.
When they won the ball back there for Fafana, who's just now jogging back into his centre-back position, made a blistering run forward.
Malo Gusto fed by Palmer. Certainly not what he was hoping for from the delivery.
We've got a lot of Chelsea supporters around us, and well, they've been pleased with some aspects of the game. They're getting very frustrated with the lack of forward intent at times from Chelsea. And when they do get in good areas, a poor cross, that one from Gusto.
There's very much a sense that they're playing with the handbrake on here. Well, James Trafford with a moment to forget. And it's opened the door for Chelsea.
Well, the ball did go out of play. It's really poor from the goalkeeper. There you see it. Now, could this cost Manchester City? Is there going to be a good delivery into the box from Reece James, whipping up the crowd? Or trying to.
A little cluster just shy of the penalty spot. Now moving into their positions. Haaland rising in front of Trafford, back in there. The header from Caicedo, and it was dealt with by Rodri, reading the situation with his customary effectiveness.
And he got to it, I think, here, Trafford, but it might have been Haaland's head, actually. And then he was scrambling back, Rodri in the right place at the right time.
Doku. Palmer back there. Well, that's a confrontation going into a second round.
Well, there was very little contact. Sorry, but I think Cole Palmer was trying to make the most of that situation. I think that's what he was accusing Doku of doing on the previous one.
James. Cucurella. Now Fernandez. Cucurella has his free kick. Kusanov is about to receive a card.
It was good play initially by Cucurella when the ball was played long. He almost gets there, doesn't he, Kusanov. It's a close call, but the referee has given him a yellow card. And he's got to be careful. Chelsea having some good moments here. Starting to believe, so are the crowd behind the goal to our right-hand side.
A time when Trafford has shown a touch of A lack of concentration. Delivery met by Matheus Nunes. It's Caicedo and Doku coming together. Enzo Fernandez off O'Reilly. Corner is the best they're going to get for that, despite the appeals. They are checking it in the VAR booth, as they will.
Well, we're right behind this. I thought, no, his arm is tucked in, it's hit him on the elbow. You can't give handball for that, I don't think. His arm is tucked in by his side. He's not trying to make himself any bigger. Corner, right decision.
Yep. Peter Banks, after several looks, agreeing with Darren England's first view, but it emphasises the point that at this moment Chelsea are very much on top. Can they take advantage? James will get another opportunity, and Trafford's out of the equation. Fofana coming into the back post, and Manchester City relieved to get that over with.
Well, I think there's a shove in the back as well from Fofana as he tried to get on the end of that. Made no difference in the end. It is good cross. There was the shove.
A significant encouragement for the Chelsea supporters. Who've not had a great deal to cheer of late. Lost 9 games in all competitions since the start of March. You have to look very hard across Europe to find a similar sort of record in that period. Currently enduring their worst run without a clean sheet in the league in 35 years. Period when Bobby Campbell and FA Cup final hero Ian Porterfield were in charge of Chelsea. Porterfield's famous winner for Sunderland in 1973 against Leeds. Here's Caicedo. Turning it on for Reece James. They're enjoying themselves, Chelsea. Crucial cutout by Gahey.
It certainly was. Reece James had a bit of space. He was looking to play it in between the two defenders for the run of Cole Palmer. Chelsea have upped the tempo, closed the ball down with more venom. Much tougher now for City to get easy possession. There again, they win the 50-50 challenge for Palmer.
It's a battle that's still raging, and Doku will ultimately be penalised. And Pep takes action.
Well, he wants more control in midfield by the looks of it. Kovacic, the player that is coming back to the bench and going to get himself stripped.
Well, a player who needs his luck to turn in the FA Cup final.
It'll be interesting to see who he comes on for. I've got to say, I don't think Rodri has really covered himself in glory today. He looks slightly off the pace. But would he take him off? I doubt it. Would it be one of the wide players to try and dominate the central area? Play Cherki a little bit wider.
Matheus Nunes. Cucurella. Caicedo. Now to Fofana is a bit of a stretch. James. Malo Gusto. Palmer.
We are hearing that it's going to be Rodri that's going to make way. And no surprise, because he hasn't played well today. Both with the ball and without it.
Bernardo Silva getting there first. Doesn't mind a tackle. His last showpiece occasion in a City shirt. Trafford meets the challenge there. Bernardo Silva has said he won't talk to his agent about future plans till May the 25th. But he does have a club in mind as his next destination. Here is Jeremy Doku. Cherki. Seeking invention, but that was not the intention. Danger for his own team may be the result. Terrific work by João Pedro, although good battling back by Matheus Nunes. We won't know it yet, but his cup final will soon be over.
Man City need more control of the game here. They had that for the first 30 minutes or so. They've lost it in the second half. Enzo Fernandez in lots of space here to get himself turned.
Hart able to play it on to Cucurella. This is a great combination, but offside. And that's the cue for the Manchester City change. And it is not a warm welcome. A warm sending off from the Chelsea supporters. I wonder what reception they'll give to their former charge.
He's still struggling for fitness and not up to the pace he was when he was voted the best player in the world not so long ago.
Mateo Kovacic has played in 3 FA Cup finals, lost them all, 1 for Manchester City and 2 for Chelsea, one of which he received a red card against Arsenal. This is going to sound a silly statement, but within 6 sendings off in the FA Cup final, and that's a cross by Malo Gusto, and the question is being asked, because João Pedro went down in the vicinity of Kusanov again.
Well, there was arms from both players. I don't think you can see from that replay that it was a penalty. Once again, I think João Pedro was trying to make the most of a situation when he realised he wasn't going to get to the ball.
Peter Banks in the video booth is happy with what has gone on. This is Ryan Cherki getting a hold of it deep and seeking to exert his potentially considerable influence. This is Semeno up against Cucurella. Cherki. Fizzed into Doku. Kehi. That's a teaser. Bernardo Silva was arriving around the back. Doku. It's a distinctly threatening ball which Fofana had to deal with.
Better from Manchester City. Here's the moment where you can see that João Pedro's actually putting his arm out to start with, trying to make the contact. There it is. He does put his arm up as well, Kuzanov, but no penalty for me. Unlike the one in the first half, which I think probably was a penalty.
A bit of finger pointing and discussion. Well, Caicedo and Gay having something akin to a wrestling match. Just reminding him, if it happens while the ball is in play, he would be in big trouble. Cherki. And it is Gay hoping to get there. And get there he did. Under great pressure.
But I never understand that sort of defending. Caicedo was never looking at the ball any time when that ball was crossed into the box. All he was doing was trying to fend off Gay.
Darren England reminding Caicedo of the presence of tens of cameras and VAR. Anything he did would be spotted. Semeno, Correa's challenge. Well, City responding.
So their supporters who went quiet for 15 minutes or so. I think Man City supporters are overly confident when they get a corner. They don't. A lot of height in that team, apart from Haaland.
They did have a real purple patch from corners and set pieces in the lead up to Christmas. Bernardo Silva's delivery for Fafana's header. And O'Reilly ending up on the floor this time.
And he's another of the threats in the box, O'Reilly.
Well, a double in the cup final. The Carabao variety. City's third trip to Wembley in 55 days.
So that's where I think Haaland should be looking to exploit the space in behind, but it was a half-hearted run. Yes, it wasn't quite the best ball from Cherki. I want Haaland to be more dynamic with his runs. Always tell the player on the ball where he wants it. At times he's just drifting around the pitch.
Kovacic. Pedro had a real swipe at Kovacic the first time. He managed to escape that.
There's a foul. Caicedo's one wasn't, but the one from João Pedro was.
Kovacic is seeking to be very positive. By João Pedro, but Gahey very much in charge. Well, it's tight. Haaland. Bernardo Silva. Haaland. Plenty in support. Oh, that's beautiful from Antoine Semenyo. Well, he's capped a stellar season with a beautiful, impudent cup final goal.
Well, I think a lot of credit to start with has to go to Cherki to get it on the ball, to try and make things happen for Manchester City. But take nothing away from the finish. Haaland making the run outside. Semenyo, I think, might have been offside had he gone for the first one. Here's Cherki. He plays the first ball, gets it back, and it goes wide. Here's the next pass. Timing of the run is good. Semeno was offside at that point, but what a really good flick it is. Haaland's just playing it into an area. He couldn't strike it any better, could he, with the inside of his feet? It might take a little deflection off Colwill. Across the goalkeeper. And just when they were beginning to struggle in this game, Man City take the lead. What a moment for him and him.
Special in more ways than one. And Chelsea, who've offered so much in this second half, have to pick themselves up.
Semenyo throughout the game has probably been Man City's most dangerous player. He's had more touches than anybody else in the box on the pitch. And he's got his reward. And what was an excellent goal.
And that flash of individual brilliance making the difference. But Enzo Fernandez almost answering back in style.
Well, it's just a long throw. They win the first flick. He wins the second. Just gets too much on it. It's the wrong side of Gahey. Gahey can't get a challenge in. He makes a good connection, but he actually gets too much on it.
So it's the end of the day for Cucurella. Pedro Neto has got over the knock that's been inconveniencing him of late. Four goals in the FA Cup this season. Chelsea will take one from anywhere now. O'Reilly. The last team to come from behind to win the FA Cup were Arsenal against Chelsea.
It was during the COVID period, wasn't it? Nobody inside the stadium. Very eerie experience.
Bernardo Silva. Hato finds a way out. Hunting. And Sánchez. Doku will retrieve here for Manchester City. Kovacic. And away. Malo Gusto. Pedro Neto. Carrying the fight while cutting a lonely figure, and he's gained plenty of ground here. Gahey across to tidy up.
Neto probably now drifted back to that left-hand side. That's where he's come on and is playing. Palmer is going to stay on the right-hand side.
Doku. Cherki. O'Reilly. Oh, chance for O'Reilly! And no one where they were ultimately required. Chelsea playing on with 10. Malo Gusto down injured. Whoa! Well, uproar behind the goal, and amongst those in the darker shade of blue. It was Hato who went down. Enzo Fernandez. Pedro Neto. Malo Gusto now back on his feet, but not where they might have anticipated he would arrive. Teased in there by Caicedo.
And it's end-to-end stuff now. All things are happening. Really, O'Reilly has to go for goal. When he gets through, we're right behind him. The cutback wasn't on.
Palmer. Malo Gusto. Pedro Neto can retrieve here. Hato. Fofana. Enzo Fernandez the target here, but Kusanov, as well as Bernardo Silva, attending to the situation.
The referee has already decided, or the VAR has already decided, that it wasn't a foul. I'm in agreement with that. Hato is leaning across Kusanov, who doesn't try and make a challenge. No penalty. He's had a good game, I think, the referee.
Palmer. Gusto's ball. Kusanov's head. Oh, he's been presented it by O'Reilly. Enzo Fernandez, Pedro Neto. Trafford getting a piece on it, but City can't sound the all clear just yet. Doku hoping to change that, but it's a Chelsea throw.
Good response from Chelsea.
Club world champions they may be, but their recent run certainly not give them a sense of confidence coursing through them, but reacting well here. João Pedro. Doku hoping to lure a challenge that will give City some relief and a free kick.
Again, silly challenge from Caicedo. Doku can't go anywhere. Caicedo's probably saying that Doku was holding his shirt as well. There probably was a bit of that. Maybe cheering on Aston Villa in a few days' time. A couple of weeks.
Well, excellent preparation for that Europa League final after victory last night in the Premier League.
Very good performance, wasn't it, against Liverpool? What a difference this second half has been to the first. First half was all a little bit too slow. This has been end-to-end in the second half. Much to the credit of Chelsea, who have tried to play on the front foot, close the ball down with greater urgency.
Well, João Pedro now in difficulty. Chelsea are preparing to bring Liam Delap on, but
not for João Pedro. I think they were bringing him on for Reece James. That might have to change.
He's got himself back to his feet, João Pedro, but I don't know if it's cramp he's concerned about. I'm going to take the opportunity across the board to get some fluid on board.
As we said earlier on, the cup final was usually played with the sun beating down. Not today. Here's the cutback. Cutback. Semenyo, clever flick. In behind his standing foot. The Gallaghers liked it, and so did they. But will it be enough to win this FA Cup final?
A goal befitting any occasion, really. Liam Delap enters the stage.
Four in the end, Reece James, I think.
It was, yes. And in Liam Delap, we have a player who has had an association with Manchester City. Joined them in 2019. That association only ended a couple of years ago with his move to Ipswich. He's not scored in the FA Cup. Today would be quite the day to write that.
He hasn't endeared himself to the Chelsea faithful on that occasion. He thought he didn't close it down quickly enough.
Well, there's plenty of space for O'Reilly to move into. Haaland's arriving. What? Terrific bit of work by Caicedo, denied him any form of opportunity. Here's Cherki. Enzo Fernandez up to João Pedro. Well, City have to feel they'll need a bit of insurance. Matheus Nunes! And against the post.
Goes against the post after it hits Sánchez, I think. But once again, O'Reilly missed a golden opportunity to play the ball earlier to Haaland when there was space between him and between the goalkeeper and the centre-back. Waited too long.
And he's offside there. But this, a situation where Sánchez deserves credit.
Had it gone in, it would have been an own goal, but he made a save, that's for sure.
Oh, and Chelsea trouble of their own making! Oh, and Sánchez reacting to deny Ryan Cherki. Well, he's busy.
Oh, Malo Gusto is struggling. Here's the strike. Cherki just whacks through the back of it. It's a good, strong right hand. Really, that should have been it. That should have been the deciding goal. Garnacho coming on for João Pedro.
Getting the kind of welcome from the Manchester City fans that is generally afforded to those with Manchester United connections. He could make history today in all the many years of the FA Cup. Nobody has scored against the same opponent in a final for two different teams.
There you see the attempts. The attempts on target. Chelsea only one shot on target. Despite playing pretty well in this second half and putting Manchester City under a bit of pressure, still hasn't been that quality in the top third of the field. On the men from West London. See, this is where he takes his time. He should have played it in a lot earlier when there was space between Caicedo and the goalkeeper.
Semenyo. Oh, Haaland couldn't take it with him. Matheus Nunes. Kovacic. His luck finally about to turn for him. City readying Nathan Ake. There's yet another connection between these two clubs. Doku. He started the Carabao Cup final, Nathan Ake. Nunes. Bernardo Silva. It's Ryan Cherki.
Well, it's become a chaotic game now, hasn't it? And exciting for it. The game's been played at a great tempo.
Yes, a proper cup tie, as it should be. The ultimate cup tie. Semeno. Kovacic. Doku will get a free kick.
Yeah, Gusto is really struggling. The right back limps away from every challenge.
Well, they're on the cusp of yet another success. They have edged ahead of Chelsea as the top scorers in the FA Cup this season with Antoine Semenyo's goal. It's 22. It's an extraordinary tally, really. Here is Ryan Cherki.
I don't think Man City can play for time just yet, because we heard they're going to be 6 added-on minutes.
Doku's cross.
Quite been at his best today, I wouldn't say Doku. Had some moments, but his end product hasn't been as good as it should be or has been in recent weeks.
In this competition, it's one that he's enjoyed playing in for Pep Guardiola. Goal or assist every 47 minutes in the FA Cup over the last 2 seasons prior to today. That's productive. He may have detected a little mirth there, because we're actually now hearing it's only going to be 5 added minutes.
I'm not sure why he took one off.
Has he got a Saturday night gig? That's a commentator talking. It's Gehi, Bernardo Silva. Haaland.
Not good enough from Haaland, is offside. We have had confirmation, it is 5.
Augusto's ball in! Oh, and Delap with an opportunity.
Good delivery. Malo Gusto just bends it in. He's got lots of space and time in the box. Might even be his first touch of the ball, so it's going to be a big touch if he hit the target.
Well, we're into that added time, and we are, at present at least, continuing the major theme at the new Wembley. Of the 19 previous finals, 16 settled by a single goal margin. Semeno. Caicedo fouls.
Just seems to have lost his composure today, Caicedo. He's a really good player. Hard-working, good on the ball, aggressive. I've always thought he had a good mentality today. He's just shown a lack of discipline, I think, on too many occasions. classically clapping the assistant referee once you've already got a yellow card isn't a good idea.
No, well, I mentioned that the 6 sendings off in FA Cup final history, of which Mateo Kovacic on the field is one of them. He's walking the line. And City are exactly where they want to be. Yet more silverware close at hand. Domestic treble winners 7 years ago. We collected both domestic cups, obviously, and that would be at least that part of the feat repeated. Who knows, maybe the other. We'll see. Semeno hasn't kept it in.
Say he'd do well not to kick it away, just as he was about to then. Just passed it a couple of yards rather than booting it away.
Farther up well, Pedro Neto, O'Reilly's block. And City's counter, how much menace will there be in it? They won't really even get that far, it's Pedro Neto. And if at times they've shown a reluctance to be proactive, Chelsea, that has to change. Although Malo Gusto with a loose touch. Haaland, Doku. Bernardo Silva one way, Ryan Cherki the other. He wants his moment, because there was a chance to feed Haaland. Now he will.
Well, Haaland wanted the ball earlier, but when it did come to him, he then miscontrolled it.
It's very difficult to be angry about it when that happens.
It is. He's having a tantrum because he wanted the ball played to him. He's still having a go at Cherki. He was still in that mindset when the ball came back to him. This is where he wanted the ball. When it comes here, can he have fed it on? But I think the defender actually does well to block that pass off. And while he's still got his arms up in the air, having to think about it, he miscontrols it. I don't think he's played particularly well today, Erling Haaland.
Cup finals don't seem to be much fun for him. Well, it's another trophy in Manchester City's bulging cabinet. A domestic cup double for Pep Guardiola.